think that's what's most motivating for me is that, they could be doing something else, but they come over here to help us learn.
Like that,
And
Mom.
it is, I think
I
it's
don't see
important for
nothing.
me to know, hey,
It's not for you.
this
So
person
then
can do it, then
Susan.
I can do it. And it's very
For
true.
Susan and
You have to
anyone.
do the action, and you can't wait for someone to hold your hand and tell you, you've got to do X, Y, Z. They give you all the things. They talk about their mistakes. They're very humble. They talk about their experience. Well, even when people talk and it's not like up on the screen, I take notes about what people say. I read the books that they read. All those things are inspirational, motivation.
All right, you guys ready to get started?
Yes.
That's pretty good here for a Friday evening, right? But I think we can get a little more energy in here. We got a great instructor for you. Looks like you guys are a great crowd. I've met a few of you. Great smiles, great energy. So let's do that again. You guys ready to get started?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said out there on behalf of Tax and Code, welcome out. We appreciate you being here with us. Like I said, we got a great instructor. I want to get the housekeeping items out of the way. Cell phones, you can't live without those. They're a big distraction. If you could just kindly check those and make sure they're on the silent vibrate mode. If you do need to make a phone call, if you could just kindly step outside to respect those around you.
Oh, no.
Also, this presentation is meant to answer all your questions in a certain order, so we're not here all day. We won't be taking questions during the presentation, but at the end, I introduce you to the team of investors. We will stay here as long as you need to make sure all those questions get answered. Is that fair enough?
Yes.
Great. Last but not least, this is copyrighted, so there's no picture taking, video recording, or passing out business cards. Can I have you honor that for me as well?
Mhm.
Great. Now with that out of the way, you guys all should have received your preview event guide. Has some great information about tax liens, tax investing. But on the back, there is a QR code. Make sure you download your free ebooks and videos for coming out today with some more great information. All right, it's my pleasure to introduce your instructor today. He's a good friend and mentor of mine, Mark Surchek. Mark is all the way here from Boise, Idaho. He's been a successful real estate investor now for 20 years. He's here today to teach you about Brian Peterson's tax lien code system, where you guys can get rates of return anywhere from 12 to 50% secured by real estate. You can also learn how to get deeds for pennies on the dollar. How many of you guys like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So if you guys can join me, welcome up my friend and mentor, Mark Surchek.
Awesome, folks. I'm excited to be here tonight. We'll spend the next hour or so with you all. I love the tax introductions out here tonight to share with you the life-enhancing and really financial-enhancing opportunity of learning how to invest with liens and deeds and real estate all over the country. Folks, I absolutely love what I get to do. The team and I, we travel all over the country teaching this, and I know in this next hour some of you folks are going to see the beauty of the investment strategy here, add it into your lives, and just get on your path to your dreams and goals. Okay, folks, I want to start off this evening by kind of getting a sense of who I have in the room. So I'm asking you all a few questions. Do I have anyone in this room that would already consider themselves to be experienced real estate investors? By show of hands. A couple of you, great, a few of you, fantastic. I think you folks will get something incredible out of this next hour, especially if you're not already with the extensively tax liens and deeds. Now, folks, do I have anyone in this room that knows what tax liens and deeds are? Also by show of hands. Okay, quite a few of you. Are you currently investing with liens or deeds? Okay, just been thinking about it. Would I have anyone in this room? Oh, one of you, sorry. Folks, would I have anyone in the room that kind of consider yourself to be maybe brand new to all of this? If you don't know much of anything about liens or deeds, no, folks, that is absolutely a perfect situation. At that point, I would call you clean slates. Okay. What I mean by that is you don't have any preconceived ideas about how this should work. Because very frankly, folks, this worked completely differently than it did even just a couple years ago. We have totally changed the game. Okay, now folks, do I have anyone in this room that maybe has no idea why they're here? Somebody just
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Got dragged here, huh? No,
Yeah,
no,
that's
no,
him,
you're
that's
right.
him, yes.
Somebody else was
Yeah,
dragged
that's
here,
him.
folks. Last question. Do I have anyone in this room that isn't going to raise their hand no matter what I ask?
That's him.
I try to get you.
That's
Okay.
him.
Now, folks, I think no matter what the reason is you guys came through those doors a few minutes ago, you may have found yourself exactly in the right place at the right time here today. Now, is it safe for me to assume that all of you in the room would love to learn how to make some more money?
Yes.
How about more money and less time?
Yes.
Folks, that's the entire reason why we've been with liens and deeds. It has been my career goal to make absolutely as much money as I can in as little time as possible. You guys look at that, right?
Yes.
All the way. Okay, awesome. Now, folks, I'm going to spend about a minute or so and share with you who I am to be here tonight. Now, I think the first thing I'd probably let you know that I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, okay? Growing up, and I was an electrician by trade, a blue-collar worker. We were a middle-class family. Now, my first year of college, I decided to go out and I joined the Navy. I spent a whole lot of years out on Navy submarines. I've traveled all over the planet several times. I got 3 sons. They were born all over the country. When I was in the Navy. They were mostly raised in a little town called Idaho Falls, Idaho, okay? Now, my sons, they're all grown and gone out of my home. They're chasing their own dreams and investors. I'm back chasing mine as well. I have a 5-year-old granddaughter also. Okay, real estate investing. I first started investing in real estate about 22 years ago. I was a single dad, raising those kids, working a full-time job. I could make ends meet, but I could never really get ahead. I was a guy that wanted to work some overtime. You folks ever know those people who want to work overtime? Yeah. Folks, I'm on nights, weekends, double time after the holidays. I did it for quite a while. And I finally discovered I was going to get to my dreams and goals, but it's trading my time for money at a job. That makes sense, folks?
Yes.
That's pretty easy, okay? Now, I was also a really big do-it-yourselfer in my own home. And I really thought that whole do-it-yourself mentality was going to carry over to real estate investing. So I started fixing and flipping homes 22 years ago on my own, okay? Folks, let me share this. The whole do-it-yourself mentality, it does not carry over to real estate investing very well at all. I did this whole thing absolutely, completely wrong for about 2 full years. And that got me searching for a company that could teach me how to invest in the right way. So I learned to fix and flip those homes the right way. I did that for about 15 years. And then I got really interested in liens and deeds. My first adventure into lien deed investing was in 2012. So I've been doing this for some time now. Folks, probably the most impactful thing I can share with anybody in the next hour, I want to tell you right now. I want you to know that anyone, absolutely anyone, can learn how to invest with liens and deeds in real estate all over the country and be successful with it if you're willing to follow a system and a program, okay? I'm all about systems and programs. Now, you will need some additional education, some tools, and some resources, some access. Tax lien code is all free here tonight, but I will plainly say if you have the desire to learn how to do this, very frankly, folks, you have the ability. We can teach you, we can keep you safe every single step of the way. Folks, standing here today, I'm just a guy that got started in this before you. I've just been doing it a lot longer. Is that maybe helpful for somebody here, folks? I want to empower people to learn this, okay? Now, folks, tax lien code philosophy. I love this. This is a top-down philosophy in the entire company, from the owner all the way down to the average employee in the office. This is their philosophy. We believe that the profitability of today's real estate investment world should be available to everyday people, not just millionaires. Folks, everyday people has the ability to grow their wealth, their prosperity, their legacy, maybe the lifestyle of your dreams, if you will. Folks, how does that sound for company philosophy? Is that pretty good?
Yeah, it's good.
It's the whole reason why tax lien code even exists at all. Sometimes we might talk about 1% in the world. We might say the 1% of the world is truly wealthy. The owner of tax lien code, he wants to make that number 2% or maybe even 3% of the world. Folks, that'd be a big change in the world. That'd be a massive change in the world. I love the philosophy. Okay, folks, let's dive into something that's called tax lien inside of real estate investing. And I want to start with sharing with you all the primary benefits of this investment. Now, this is a system where you're going to get a state mandated return anywhere between 10 and 50% return on your investments each and every year. Folks, 10 to 50% a year. And every now and again, we even acquire properties simply by paying the back taxes that are owed to the counties. So it's a government system secured by real estate. There is huge safety built inside of that. And we're going to find ourselves in what's called a first lien position, a top lien position. We'll talk about that as we go. Now, I wrote down no credit score to qualify. But there is no personal credit score to qualify. There is no income to debt ratio. You will never sit in front of like a loan officer at a bank attempting to qualify for anything. As long as you can pay the back taxes that are owed to the counties, you can become an investor with liens and deeds all over the country. Does that make sense so far, folks?
Yes.
Awesome. Now, I wrote down almost any budget there. Now, what I mean by that is $0 doesn't work. We have to have some money to invest. But I can teach anyone how to invest with liens for even less than $100. So folks, if that starts small, let's get started, start small, less than $100. It's also completely scalable. As soon as you're ready monetarily and mentally, you can scale this up just as big and fast as you want to go. Do any of you folks have maybe IRAs or self-directed IRAs? Okay, how about 401ks and 403bs? Okay, we're going to teach you folks how to self-direct those funds all over the country. So if you have, let's say, a couple $100,000, even a couple $1 million in those accounts, I'm going to show you how we scale this up big and fast. So truly, folks, almost any budget, just $0 doesn't work. Okay? Now, folks, that last line there, I'm going to teach you how to invest from home. It is my absolute favorite thing to do anymore. I told you folks at the beginning, this now works completely differently than it did even just a couple years ago. That is one of the biggest reasons why now. We can now invest with liens and deeds all over the country, anytime, anywhere we want to. I happen to be a single guy, I like to travel. I throw my laptop computer in the backpack, travel the country, travel the world. You can do that too. Hey, let's say you wake up in your bed at 10 a.m., grab your laptop off your nightstand, start investing right there, sitting in bed if you want to. Let's say you have insomnia at 2 a.m. Same thing, grab a laptop at 2 a.m., start investing right there, sitting in bed if you want to. So truly, folks, anytime, anywhere now with Lean to Needs all over the country. There's just a couple requirements. You have to have a computer device. I'm going to say obviously. No, I don't care if that's going to be a desktop, a laptop, an iPad, a tablet, a smartphone. They're all going to work just fine. And you have to have some sort of internet connection. A Wi-Fi connection in a hotel or a cafe works just perfectly. Okay, folks, just one other requirement. Here tonight, over the next hour or so, I'm going to teach you guys the very basics of Lean to Needs. That's all we have time for here tonight, folks. Just the basics. Okay, we have a 3-day class for you folks next week. In that 3-day class, we teach you guys how to invest with Lean to Needs for 3 full days, and after that, we just unleash you in the marketplace, investing anytime, anywhere you want to. Are you folks with me a little bit so far?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Now, folks, I want to talk about passive investment strategies. Now, I would call Lean investing truly a passive investment strategy. Frankly, folks, it makes money while you sleep. Okay. I think we need to get to the point in our lives where money's making money for us while we're sleeping to get to our dreams and goals. But I want to talk about the average person out there right now. When the average person tends to have a little extra money they can do something with, where those people tend to just stick that money? Bank, top answer all the time. Same account bank, okay? And I always say, why wouldn't we break the return rates the banks are giving us? And we all know it's a joke. Yeah, the bank's about 0.2%. You guys all know that. So whatever you stick at the bank times 0.002 is the entire return investment for a full year giving money to the banks. Well, lots of people do it, probably guilty ourselves. Now, folks, I went up there as much as 1%. We can still find what I call outlier banks out there that will pay you a higher rate of return. But if you're paying attention, some of these smaller banks are starting to fail again. Is that true, guys? We all might agree savings account is not a great investment strategy. Is that true, guys?
Yeah.
That's super easy, okay? How about this one here? Certificates of deposit, CDs. You guys know what that is?
Yeah.
A little bit better rate of return there. In fact, in a really long-term CD, you can probably get 4, maybe 5% in a really long-term CD. Again, obviously, you're going to put your money into the bank, and then there's penalties if you want to pull the money out early. We would all agree a CD is not a great investment strategy. Is that true, guys?
Yeah.
That's easy too, okay? How about this one? Stock market traders. Are there any traders in the room?
No.
I trade a little bit myself, okay? Let's say it's about the stock market, though. If you're a really good stock market trader, you could make amazing money in the market very quickly. Is that true, guys? You could also lose amazing money in the market very quickly. We all know that's true. Most traders I talk to, they tend to blow up an account or 2 or 3 in the process of learning. There's a very steep learning curve for most traders. We all know the stock market is fairly volatile. Let's at least call stock market trading higher risk. Fair to say, folks?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk mutual funds here. Any guys, again, have those 401ks, 403bs? Okay, folks, please pay attention. I'm not sure you know this. I want you to know that all of your 401ks and 403bs are leveraged inside of mutual funds, which are 100% leveraged inside the stock market. So here's what's happening there, folks. That means you take 100% of the downside risks in the years and the times when the stock market's going down. Your account goes right down with it. Those people I'm talking to over the last 1.5 to 2 years, their accounts are still down 20, 30, maybe even 50% down, because you take 100% of the downside risk. In those same accounts, you also have very limited upside potential. In the best years when the stock market moves 10, 15% up in a year, your accounts and mutual funds are capped out at maybe 6, 7, 8% returns in the best cases.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough if we ever can get those losses back over time. Make sense, folks?
Yes.
So let's call mutual funds high risk as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy. But folks, if you're paying attention at all to the financial.coms that are out there, we're seeing headlines all over the place because, again, this hour is completely differently than it did even just a couple years ago. CNNmoney.com came out and said 10 to 50% interest on tax liens to be lucrative bets. Everywhere. I love the one at the top there. It says 89% of the world's millionaires in part by investing in real estate and Lean to Needs all over the country. Folks in this room, we all know that investing in real estate is an amazing place to make money. Is that true, guys?
Yes.
That's why people generally come, folks. And again, we're seeing headlines all over the place. Okay, back to passive investment strategies. We talked about the list up there, or let's start with some government tax things, folks. This is a 10 to 50% state mandated return. Now, folks, that's a guaranteed return. It's a government system secured by real estate. It doesn't get any better or safer than that. And folks, compounding interest. You guys know what the term means, compounding interest?
Yes.
Maybe some do, some don't. Folks, let's look through this one. Let's say you got $5,000 to invest. That's all you're putting is one time, $5,000, and we're going to put that in a standard rate rate of return year after year. And I'm going to throw a bank up there as a first example, and we're going to be really gracious with the bank. We'll give them 3% rate of return. We all know whenever you get to the bank, they get a long-term CD. If you can make a 3% rate of return year after year, after 30 years, your $5,000 investment turns into just over $19,000. Now, folks, is that pretty good?
No.
Not real, not really.
No, no.
investment, right? But I would say it's better just spending the $5,000. That's true, guys? You'll look what you're doing there, folks. Now, we all know in this room, 3% rate of return, it's not terribly different in the country. Some people are actually satisfied with it. We certainly shouldn't be. Let's say here today get really interested in liens and deeds. And you invest in one of my favorite states to invest in, folks, Arizona is going to pay you a 16% rate of return on your liens each and every year in Arizona. Really, really good, okay? Folks, if you put $5,000 in Arizona, you can turn that into $429,000. Well, that's pretty good, right?
Yes.
We're getting somewhere, okay? Now, folks, here's the beauty of compounding interest, though. Let's say invest in my favorite state of all time to invest in, Florida, is going to pay you an 18% return on your liens each and every year in Florida. Just 2% in Arizona, folks, but look at the bottom line now. Now we're looking at $716,000.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of compounding. That's just 2% on the front side there. The back side there, folks, is over 60% more. That's the beauty of compounding interest. Now tell me, folks, is there anyone in this room that knows which state in our nation pays the highest rate of return for lien and deed investors?
California?
Not California.
New York?
It is Texas. Texas
Wow.
is, okay, look at this, folks. Texas is 25%. Listen, folks, listen, that's every 6 months in Texas, 25%. This is huge.
Wow.
It's my favorite redeemable estate to invest in. It will be yours as well, folks. All the banks in a second. Banks love to get money, don't they?
Yes.
You deposit a check there, got some savings there. Banks love to get their money. What do the banks do with the money that we give them?
They go invest in real estate.
Policy and make 60% off your money.
I love what you're
Yes,
saying.
that's true.
Guys, is that cool? Guys, saying, folks, listen to this, okay? I'm not, you know this. Banks are actually the biggest investors with liens and deeds in the country. We're talking about banks, lending institutions, insurance companies, and hedge funds. But banks are the biggest of the big. They can take every $5,000 we give them and turn it over $4 million. And they give us the 0.002, right? Folks, is it fair?
No.
I'll give them money, don't folks. So if you invest in the banks, if banks are take our money and invest in liens and deeds all the country, why don't we just learn how to do it instead? That makes sense, folks?
Yes.
Can we beat these banks at their own game?
Hopefully.
Folks, I know we can, okay? I know what I do, I know you guys can't do, that's why we're here to talk about this. Now, folks, that's a $5,000 investment. It's all we're putting is one time, $5,000. Folks, I'm gonna say here tonight, if you're young in this room in your 20s or 30s, do this tonight. Folks, hear me? If you're
Yes.
young, do it tonight. The rest of us in this room wish we did it 30 years ago. Might that be true, folks? Yeah. Might be a little raising my hand, folks. I wish I did this 30 years ago, okay? Now, folks, if you're young, do it here tonight, okay? Now, folks, someone's saying, Mark, I like 30 years left to invest, folks. I get that as well. I don't want to invest 30 more years younger. Let's take us out with some more money, though, okay? Let's take us out with $70,000. Now, that's currently an IRA, self-directed IRA, 401k, a savings account. I'm currently money is, folks. We'll self-direct those funds all over the country. If we can start with $70,000, I might recommend putting that for 18%. After 15 years, you're sitting on just over $1 million. Starting with this $70,000, folks. Is that pretty good? For a 15-year investment?
Yeah.
That's really good, okay? Then maybe your thought process should be this. I'll keep investing $1 million in Florida at 18%, and that's gonna make $180,000 a year. Every single year just in profit. You'll never ever touch the principal. Did you guys pretty good at $180,000 a year, every single year? When you get your entire years, folks? It's amazing what we leave all over the country, folks. So before that 3-day class next week, I want you to go out there and grab a compounding calculator. Your compounding calculator, they're often free out there. You want to have those, folks, and just start crunching your own numbers. What do you got to start with? How can you use double-digit rates of return all over the country to truly get to your financial dreams and goals? Are you guys looking a little bit so far still?
Yes.
Guys, crunch your numbers. It's amazing what we do with these all over the country. Okay, now go with tax savings, folks. Said it several times, 10 to 50% state mandated returns. Again, that's a guaranteed return. Or I said this earlier, ownership of the properties. Simply by paying back taxes over to the counties, we can acquire these properties free and clear. Now, is that exciting for anybody in this room?
Yes. Yes.
Folks, me too. Glad you're here. Okay, now folks, tax lien, what is it by definition? A tax lien is a first lien position on a property subject to property taxes by the due date. Now, this is true for residential property, commercial property, even bare ground. I'm sure we all know in this room, if you live in a county and you own property, you pay that county property taxes each and every year.
Yes,
You guys?
yes.
Absolutely, okay. Now folks, I'm gonna walk us through a tax lien scenario, okay? This works several ways, we will talk about every way that it works. We're using a smaller number here tonight, folks, we're gonna use 24%, be a little bit conservative. Now we have 3 key players. We have the homeowner, the county, and that investor. That investor could be you or I. In this case, we're gonna call him a guy named David. Let's start with the homeowner, he's a guy named Joe. Now Joe's been living in his home for the last 10 years, let's say, paying the mortgage Chase Bank each and every month for at least 10 years. Joe has a home that's worth $350,000 fair market value. FMV. That's what Joe can sell his home for here today. Joe pays $1,800 in property taxes each and every year to the county. Now, paying that mortgage Chase Bank over the last 10 years, he's paid the mortgage down to $175,000. So Joe has some equity in his home, doesn't he?
Yes.
How much equity does Joe have, folks? 175. Yep. 3 plus 175 is $175,000 worth in his home. Now, let's say over the last 3 or 4 or 5 months, Joe's fallen on some hard times financially. We all know there's a multitude of housing whys that could happen. Joe's having a really tough time paying his bills. In fact, let's say over these 3 or 4 or 5 months, he's had a couple of late mortgage payments. He's finally missed a mortgage payment. And now Chase Bank is going to start calling and sending letters and emails talking about things like pre-foreclosure. Guys with that?
Yes.
Pre-foreclosure, hear it all the time, okay? In fact, his due date for property taxes is coming up really quickly, and Joe will not get paid his property taxes. Now, folks, let me ask you this. What does the county do with all the tax money that we pay them?
They send out to investors.
Pardon me?
They allow investors to buy them.
No, what do you guys pay taxes to the county? What does the county do tax? What does the county do tax money to pay them?
Oh, the schools and roads.
Supposedly schools and roads, okay? I'm always complaining about the potholes where I live, guys. Supposedly, thanks for not hearing about the crooks, that was last night, okay? Sometimes that's a really tough discussion,
Didn't know what it
okay?
was.
There's a really big list of things, okay? We're talking about police department, fire department, roads, schools, hospitals, libraries, parks, signage, paying our county employees. The list is pretty endless. What we pay the counties in property taxes represents 100% of the county's budget, okay? It's a little bit fair to say they need the money. Is that true, guys?
Yes.
You guys have a place like roads and schools and police, that's where the money should go to, okay? Now, folks, here's what happens, okay? Because Joe fallen on some hard times financially, his due date for property taxes comes and goes, and he does not pay his property taxes. Now, folks, the day after Joe doesn't pay his property taxes on time, the county writes a lien against Joe's property. Now there's a tax lien out there on Joe's property. That makes sense, folks?
Yes.
And this is where the investor David steps in. David sees an opportunity. You guys know what opportunity David sees? What's he see, guys?
To buy the tax lien.
Buy the tax lien. Okay. David actually wants to make a 24% rate of return on his investment. David knows exactly how much the county's going to pay to a lien investor. Makes sense, folks?
Yes.
All over the country, every single county, we know the exact percentage rate of return they will pay to a lien investor. And we would all love to make a 24% rate of return on our investments. Is that true, guys?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. So as soon as Joe pays property taxes on time, David also steps up and pays the county $1,800 in property taxes. Now at that point, the county's made whole on their budget, and they are very happy, okay? Also at the same time, the county writes David investor what's called a tax lien certificate. Write those words down.
Tax lien certificate.
You can write TLC before next to that. Tax lien certificate. They will talk about this a lot in your class, okay? Now, David investor is the first in position of complication of holding on to a tax lien certificate, okay? Now, folks, once the county issues David a tax lien certificate, he just waits. You folks know what he's waiting for?
Don't put taxes.
Okay, you're good. Guys, that's what we're talking, okay? Every state chooses what the length of time is for their state. It can all be different, okay? Redemption period, okay? Did you guys write that down already?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And they can be different lengths of time, guys. Texas is not a lien state. We're talking about liens right now. Texas is a redeemable lien state, okay? We're just talking about liens right now. And the redemption period is length of time, and every state chooses what the redemption period is for their state. They can all be different lengths of time. You guys know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So folks, so the county then, that redemption period starts, where was I? The redemption period. Oh, it's a length of time, okay? Now folks, this works 7 different ways. We will talk about every way that it works, okay? Let's call this scenario number 1, okay? Let's go back to Joe, the homeowner there. Joe's been in the home for the last 10 years paying the mortgage, paid the mortgage on by half. Joe has $175,000 in equity in his home, okay? Is Joe, let's say, emotionally attached to his home?
Yes.
It's a big deal, that's his home. So do you think sometime during that redemption period, Joe's gonna try to find a way to come up with $1,800 in back taxes?
Yes.
Heck yeah. Joe's gonna beg, borrow, hope you're not steal, and he's probably gonna come up with $1,800, okay? Joe could put $1,800 on a credit card, and that might be $40 to $60 a month. Guys okay on that?
Yes.
Joe comes up with the money. Joe comes up with $1,800 plus penalties, fees, and interest that the county incurs on Joe. And then Joe pays that county back. Now, at that point, the county could pay twice. I paid the investor, and now by Joe, the homeowner. So the county in turn is going to write the investor a check for $1,800 plus 24% interest. You guys love to make a 24% rate of return on our investment. Is that true, guys?
Yes.
I just paying some taxes and just waiting. Guys with me?
Yes.
Folks.
Can you repeat that, please?
We would all love to make a 24% return by just paying some taxes and just waiting. Guys with me?
Yes.
Folks, that's what we do. Class is over. We are done. Let's get out of here. We're not done. Class is done, guys. But folks, that's what we do. It's simple. We pay taxes, we wait, we get paid a 24% rate of return, and we love it. Guys still with me?
Yes.
Okay, guys, I love questions. Most questions answered during the presentation. You guys are gonna have some questions, I know. okay?
Last one.
You guys asked a whole
Okay.
questions right now, guys?
It's
Okay,
a
hold on
T.
to questions right now. Most questions answered during the presentation, guys. If I don't answer your question during the presentation, grab me afterwards, I will talk about this for hours. I love teaching, it's my favorite thing to do, okay? Folks, a couple things. If I sat down with any one of you guys for a few hours, I can't teach it instead of a few hours, folks. There's a lot of stuff to learn, okay? Frankly, it's why we have a 3-day class. That make sense, guys?
Yes.
So hold the questions for now. If there's something so pressing on your mind right now that you have to have it answered, grab one of the guys and gals on the team. They are incredible wrestlers. They can teach all this to you guys right here tonight. Is that okay, guys?
Yes.
Hold the questions for now, okay? Because now I have no idea where I was.
You were talking about the redemption time.
Okay, it's number one. We finished number one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Let's watch number two, folks. It's quite similar. Okay, back to Joe, the homeowner there. Joe's been in the home for the last 10 years paying the mortgage. Paid the mortgage down by half. Joe has $175,000 left in his home. Again, Joe's fallen on some hard times financially, so his due date for property taxes comes and goes. He does not pay his property taxes. That again, we're David's best protector. David sees that opportunity. David pays the county $1,800 in property taxes. The county issues David what's called a tax lien certificate, correct? Now he's in a position, holding on to a tax lien certificate, okay? And then there's Chase Bank in second position below David. Chase Bank is still owed $179,000 on mortgage, and then the second position below David. David pays $1,800, it's a tax lien certificate, and he's in a first lien position above Chase Bank. Now, is Chase Bank happy about this?
No.
No. Are they nervous?
Yes.
I think bankers are always nervous, but not really. All Chase Bank really needs to do is get rid of David the investor. Tell me folks, how do they do it?
They pay him off?
They just pay him off, super simple, nice, easy. Thanks guys, they pay him off, okay? Now folks, what Chase Bank has to do, Chase Bank has to step up and pay the county back. That makes sense, folks?
Yeah.
Chase Bank pays the county back $1,800, again, plus penalties, fees, and interest. Same situation at that point, the county can pay twice. This time by David Investor, and now by Chase Bank. So then the county's gonna write David Investor that check for $1,800 plus 24% interest. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
And then that tax certificate goes away, Chase Bank back on top of first lien position. Life goes on, Joe stays in his home, Chase Bank will just add a bunch of stuff to Joe's mortgage. Make sense, guys? That's the number two wrapped up pretty nice and easy. I know it's a long story, guys, it's well worth it, okay? Now, folks, I want you to know that 9 times out of 10, that's how it turns out. Scenario 1 or 2, 9 times out of 10. We pay the taxes, we wait, we get paid a 20% rate of return, and we love it 9 times out of 10. Please silence your cell phones, folks.
I did. You went back up.
Guys got all that?
Yeah.
That is number 2, okay? Now, folks, 9 times out of 10. So, I also want you guys to realize that as investors, you and I, we never ever deal with the homeowner. It's always just right with the county. It's gonna be simple, clean, and easy. I love it, you're gonna love it. Okay, folks, so number 3. Does anyone really know what the term free and clear means? Free and clear? What's it mean, guys?
No debt.
No debt, no mortgage, yeah, there's no liens, there's no encumbrances, there's no mortgage, there's no Chase Bank. Make sense, guys? Forbes came out, look at this. Forbes came out and said that nearly 40% of all homes in the USA are owned free and clear. Now, is this exciting for you and I as investors? Absolutely, okay. Now, folks, number 3, Joe owns his home free and clear. Joe's home is worth $350,000 fair market value. Again, that's what Joe sells home for here today. Again, Joe's fallen on some hard times financially. We all know there's a multiple housing wise that could happen. Let's say Joe lost his job, maybe somebody died, maybe Joe lost his business. Whatever it is, he can't pay his bills. So his due date for property taxes comes and goes, he does not pay his property taxes. Again, David steps in, David sees that opportunity, David pays the county $1,800 in property taxes. The county issues David what's called a tax lien certificate. Correct, folks?
Yes.
Now, is that first thing position is holding on to a tax lien certificate? And then that redemption period starts. Also correct, folks?
Yes.
Now, what happens if during that redemption period, nobody pays the taxes?
Then you own the property?
You own the property. David Investor owns that property. David Investor pays $1,800 for the tax lien certificate. He waits for the redemption period. He now owns the property worth $350,000. Tell me, folks, is anyone in this room that $1,800 to own that property for $350,000?
Yes, of course.
You remember the show of hands, please.
Put your
like
hand.
half of you guys.
The girls know.
Other, two hands, I like that one, nice job, okay? The rest of you guys waiting for something bigger? Is that true, guys? Pretty good day, right? Is that pretty
That's a good day, yeah.
Guys, remember, 9 times out of 10, it goes the other way. 9 times out of 10, makes that 20% rate of return, but maybe 1 time out of 10, you might acquire the property free and clear. They both sound like pretty good days, don't they? Okay, this is why you want to be a lean and deep investor. It is truly a win-win scenario. The worst case scenario is 24% rate of return. You guys still with me?
Yes.
That's why I want to be a lean and deep investor. Okay, now folks, by statute, the tax lien is this. The tax lien takes priority over the claim of any person whose property is part of that tax lien, and over the claim of any holder of a lien on the property, the physical attachment of the tax lien. Okay, that's a whole bunch of legal jargon. Let me paraphrase for you guys. Are the king of liens, the absolute king of liens, top lien position all the time. It is over and above any and every bank. It's over and above any contractor's lien, any mechanic's lien. It is over and above the IRS.
Wow.
Folks see that one? Over and above the IRS. We're the driver's seat, we win all the time.
Wow.
Every day of the week, every county, every state, all over the day, folks, by statute, we win. Again, this is why you want to be a lean and deep investor. Okay, folks, all this stuff with Joe and Dave is all complete theory. Let's start looking at some real scenarios here, folks. Your investment on this first property I want to show you, the back taxes that are owed are $437.32.
Wow.
That's your invested tax lien certificate, or potentially acquire that property free and clear. That's the picture of property right in the upper left-hand corner, folks. Fair market value of that property is $145,914. Let's call that $146,000. That's what you sell that property for here today. Now tell me, folks, would anyone in this room invest $437.32 for the property right there in the picture?
Yes.
Yes.
Give me back, show of hands, guys. Awesome. Hey, a bunch of you guys. I'll invest that property every single day. Now, folks, listen. This property's in Belmar, New Jersey. It's in Belmar, New Jersey.
I don't know.
Now, New Jersey will pay you
You
a
don't have to
3%
go.
rate of return on your lien each and every year in New Jersey. So when you invest $437.32, you're either going to get the 18% rate of return, or potentially acquire that property free and clear. Okay? Now, some of you folks raise your hands, folks. Here's the punchline. The property was actually acquired for $437.32. In your hot little hands that day, worth $146,000. Pretty good day, guys?
Yes.
Really good day. Okay, glad you guys invested. Now, folks, really, really big question, okay? Please answer them for me. If you want to invest that property right there, folks, for $437.32, do you need to live in New Jersey?
No.
No.
Do you need to like New Jersey?
No.
Do you ever need to go to New Jersey?
No.
Ever? How about to list the property?
No.
Sell the
No.
property?
No.
How about sign contracts?
No.
Transfer funds?
No.
Killing it, bro. Thanks, man.
No.
No.
Yeah, no.
You never have to go there or live there or
No,
even like the
no,
place.
no.
folks.
I wanna buy
This is the
something.
beauty of investing with liens and deeds all over the country. Folks, I've never, ever been to Belmar, New Jersey. I don't really like New Jersey, frankly, okay? There's no much on the left or right there. You can learn anything while you're there. It's not my favorite place to go. But I will invest in New Jersey every single day. And you guys might too, is that true?
Yes.
So just tell me why.
18%.
18%.
Great percentage rate of return, okay? Let's keep it really simple, folks. You want to make some money. Is that true, guys?
Yes.
You want to make some money. You can do it anytime you want to.
But you have
all the
money.
time. You don't have to go there, live there.
I don't go by Robert and David over
I'm
there.
not sure what that return investment is. We invest $437.32 and the property's worth $146,000, but that's way more than 18%. Is that true, guys?
Yes.
Okay, you just want to make money, folks. It's incredible what you do. Now, folks, let me clear up something investing. People start getting stuck when I start showing properties. People will tell me, Mark, I'll invest $437.32 in the property there, but the day that I acquire that free and clear, I gotta fly to New Jersey. I gotta walk through the front door.
Oh my
I gotta see
God.
what I'm gonna paint, and what the carpet looks like, and I say, stop right there. Folks, the day you acquire the day that you acquire the property free and clear, I'm gonna take like one phone call locally, and you're gonna call a local real estate agent, and you're gonna say, list this property today. Folks, will they list that property that day?
Yes.
Absolutely. They will send you a contract on your phone, and you'll sign with your finger on your phone, and the property is listed that day. Now, folks, let's say 90 days after that day we list the property, it won't take 90 days to sell that thing, folks, but let's say 90 days after they relist it, they then electronically deposit into your account more than $145,000 of profit into your account electronically that day. Is that a pretty good day?
Yeah.
Did that maybe make your week?
Yeah.
That's how I sell.
Yes. Year.
Yeah. So folks, how many deals like this you really start doing to truly get on your path to your dreams and goals? I'm gonna say probably not many. I'm gonna say focus on the first deal. The first one's always the hardest for a brand new student, okay? Folks, after that starts flowing. I tell all my brand new students I want you to focus on one deal per month. 1 per month. Guys, think that's a possibility?
Yes.
1 per month?
Yes.
It doesn't take a lot to do this, folks, but it's gotta get started, okay? So folks, don't go walk through the front door and Belmont or Jersey. There's no reason to do that, okay? People will tell me, Mark, I'm gonna live in that property for the next 4 to 6 months. I'm gonna fix it and flip it while I live in the property. I wanna get maximum pennies out of that property, folks. There's no reason to do that, folks. With that property right there, you did maybe two, let's call it 3 hours of electronic work total. Finding the property, signing contract, transferring funds, 3 hours of electronic work total. And you did over $145,000 in profit in 3 hours of work. Is that pretty good?
Yes.
Yes.
And you did that work wherever you wanted to be. You're at your home, you're at your business, you're sitting on the beach, you might be living in Italy. Go there, live there, bring the life place. Still with me?
Big facts.
Now folks, plainly, some folks want to do design work, construction work, fixing, flipping, all those things. All I'm really gonna say, folks, is decide that you choose the towns, the dates, the places, and you decide to get more involved. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Be as involved or uninvolved in real estate as you want to be. Some of you guys want to spend massive money in real estate and never ever touch a property. Is that true, guys?
Yeah.
And you can do it all remotely, sign a contract, transferring funds, and never ever touch a property at all. In that 3-day class, what you guys have to do all this either remotely, or if you want to be hands-on, you can do that too. Be as involved or uninvolved in real estate as you want to be. You guys still with me?
Yes.
That's Belmont, Jersey, that's no problem. Okay, now folks, objectives, okay? My objective guys here tonight, I want to introduce you guys to the tax and code investing system, okay? Now folks, this is a proprietary system. This is never ever for the general public. The only access to the marketing program inside of tax and code is with a 3-day training class, okay? Folks, we have a 3-day training class coming up for you folks next week. Let me give you dates, okay? Now folks, dates are gonna be for this class on October 4th, 5th, and 6th. October 4th, 5th, and 6th, 3-day live class, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, October 4th, 5th, and 6th, coming back to Houston for you guys. Okay, so folks, those are your dates. Now folks, after that 3-day training class, you get 1 full year worth of additional education, tools, and resources for a full year. We stick with you guys, keep you safe, moving forward for a full year. After that, you can use the investing system forever, okay? Now, folks, I'm gonna talk about tuition here tonight. I'm gonna talk about your tuition here tonight, and then bonuses actually here tonight. Okay, let's cover all that. Now, folks, commonly asked questions for liens and deeds. Now, folks, I want you guys to know I've done this kind of presentation for quite a while. Usually, sometime during the presentation, somebody will pipe up and say, Mark, this is a really good investing system, but if this strategy is so great, why isn't everybody doing it? Fair question, guys?
Yeah.
I hear that question all the time, okay?
I'm not good with numbers.
Why isn't everyone doing it? It's kind of a little mix inside of lean to deed investing, inside of listed investing. You don't hear all about it. Make sure you cover that, okay? Why isn't everyone doing it? Now, folks, really the answer to that question is kind of where I started the entire presentation. I told you folks at the beginning, this now works completely differently than it did even just a couple years ago. Guys remember that?
Yes.
We were totally changing a few years ago, but folks, there's a lot of people out there that still thinks it works like it did. I'm gonna say in the olden days, okay? Now folks, when I say the olden days, I mean 3, 4, 5 years ago, not that long, okay? But folks, we're changing it a few years ago, but there's a lot of people out there that still think it works like it did back then. So folks, I'm gonna describe to you guys the olden days, okay? This is how I used to have to do it. It's how you still have to do it unless you're for this, okay? So folks, a county by county strategy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That county is that governmental institution that controls the liens and deeds in their county. Okay, folks, take a look at this. There are 3,243 counties in the USA.
Wow.
That's quite a few, right?
Wow.
A bunch of counties, and you have to invest county by county. So folks, here's the really big question, okay? Where would most people then try to invest with liens and deeds?
Texas.
In your own county, that's the easy one, right? You drive right up to the doorsteps, you walk right through the front door, and you say, good morning. I want to see all the tax lien certificates that are going to bill for the next upcoming live auction. Make sense, folks?
Yes.
Those county sold auctions on the doorsteps, so the public can eventually show up and sell their liens and deeds. So you walk in the front door because you live there, it was easy, and you say, hey, I want to see all these tax lien certificates. Now folks, listen, most counties, you have to purchase the right to even see list properties, purchase it. And that's about $100 to about $600, depending upon the county. Pay them at the county office right there, they take it from you, they hand those properties to you, they go in the back room, and then they grab a really big binder for you guys. It's gonna be maybe 8 or 10 inches big, it's full of all the paper for all the properties that will be in the next auction. They bring it back to the countertop, they slap it down, bam, they say, good luck, I'll be back. And they leave you with all the paperwork. You just want the rights to dig through the paperwork. Make sense, folks?
Yeah.
That's called your due diligence process, digging through paperwork. Now, what you should be doing in that process, folks, is coming up with what I call your maximum allowable bids. The maximum price that you're willing to pay for any of the properties at the auction. Now, folks, most people, if they attempt that calculation at all, they don't do it very well, if they even try to do it at all. In the 3-day class this week, folks, we will teach you guys exactly how to come up with your max level bids at the 3-day class, okay? Now, folks, you walked in the country you live in, it was easy, and the auction you want to go to is maybe the week or 2 or 3 from the dates you're standing there in the county, and you bought the rights to dig through the paperwork. You can go back every single day if you want to and dig through the paperwork some more. You bought the rights. Now, folks, if you want to actually go to the auction live in a couple of weeks, raising your hand or your path to the auction live, you have to purchase that right as well in most counties. Now, that's about $1,000, give or take, depending on how you walked into. So, folks, this whole olden days process, you're into this a bunch of money already, and you haven't even been to an auction yet. Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Auction morning, it's pretty incredible. If you're a brand new person at the auction and call them newbies, you can spot them very easily. They're slightly overwhelmed, to say the least, okay? Auction morning, the auctioneer steps up to the plate, and he says, good morning, folks. I have 187 properties to auction off for today. He's gonna just dive right in. He's gonna say, let's start with prop number 1. It's parcel number 3279 Bravo, it's lot number 16. Your paperwork, the auction's about to start, okay? Now let's say for this auction, you're in the great state of Florida. Now Florida's gonna pay you an 18% rate of return on your liens each and every year in Florida. The auction, auctioneer says, folks, let's start the bidding today 17.5%. Can I hear 17, 16, 15, 12? He'll bid it all the way down to 0.25%. Okay? And folks, every time that bid percentage down, the county's making more what? Money. That's making less, guys. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay? And if you talk about price, the price goes up. Auction says, and every time it goes that price up, folks, the county's making more what?
Money.
That's making auction process, okay? Now, folks, you walked into country living because it was easy. And you think because you live there, it's gotta be one of the best counties in the country to invest in. In a lot of cases, folks, it's just not, okay? I grew up in Cook County, Illinois. Chicago, Illinois, that's Cook County. I spend a lot of time there still with my folks. They're in the house I grew up as a kid, they were really old. I spent a ton of time in Illinois. I spent a ton of time in Idaho. That's where I raised my kids. I still have a home there. Now, folks, I don't invest in either one of those states at all. Not Illinois at all, not Idaho at all. I invest pretty much in Florida, Arizona, and Texas for the most part, okay? Now, folks, as investors, we will teach you anywhere and everywhere you want to learn how to invest. There's great opportunities all over the country. But most investors tend to flock to the areas where it's the biggest rates of return, like Texas, and the easiest counties to work with. Make sense, folks?
Yes.
So we'll teach you anywhere and everywhere. Now, folks, we're still in the olden days process, okay? Now, folks, imagine if you lived in Florida and you had to fly to Florida to rent the car to drive around to all different counties in Florida to walk through the front doors of those counties.
Yeah.
There's 67 counties in Florida, folks. That'd be kind of a tough process in the olden days, folks.
Yeah.
That's something you have to do, okay? Now, folks, Florida's my all-time favorite state to invest in. Florida's called a hybrid state. That means every county in Florida can choose whether it's gonna be a lien county or a deed county. And both liens and deeds in Florida called a hybrid state, okay? Now, Texas, I'm sure you know this, 250 counties in Texas.
Wow.
Imagine driving around your state to walk through those front doors. It's a process, right?
Yeah.
Guys, that's the olden days, okay? Now, you can actually call every single county on the phone, call them on the phone, pay money over the phone, they take it from you, obviously. They will email a list of properties to you instantaneously, then they'll actually do some paperwork for you while you're on the phone with them. Now, folks, I've spent hours and hours and days on the phone with the county employees doing the records for me, and they don't really, let's say, love their jobs or customer service. Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
You guys been to county office for anything?
Oh, yeah.
It's not a fun process, okay? Guys, that's the olden days process. That's how you used to have to do it, okay? I would say it was difficult, arduous, and time consuming. If you have something like, let's say, a life or a wife or a job or hobbies or kids, you probably wouldn't take a lot of time away from those things to go out there and attempt to do this. Make sense, folks? That is frankly the reason why most people aren't doing it, okay? Now, folks, don't get me wrong. Private investors have dedicated time, energy, effort, and money to do this incredibly well. I've been private investor for a long time, okay? Wealthy family. They put together a small group of people to go out there and do this for the wealthy family. It's been a wealthy investment strategy for well over 200 years. You guys know that liens and deeds marked for a long time, right? Now, guys, that's the olden days process. This is where taxing code steps into the game and changes the entire game from investing in liens to deeds for people that do it differently, much more streamlined, okay? But folks, I want you guys to know the tax lien code was created by one of the best tax lien and deed investors and educators from all over the country. A guy named Brian Peterson. And you guys see a little video coming here today? Now that people
Yes.
Brian Peterson, you know the tax lien code, okay? Now, folks, previous to this, Brian worked for different companies, different entities, doing different things with lien and deed investing for the last 20-some years. But we also thought about building a system and a program that would make it much more streamlined, okay? Now, folks, I'm gonna share a story with you guys. You guys remember COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't forget COVID. That's a terrible time of life. But as soon as COVID happened, that's when Brian said, now is the time to build this thing. And he pulled together all his resources, his know-how, his network, and he built tax lien code. Now, this completely blows me away, the forethought that he must have had, but also the perfect storm, if you will, that COVID created inside his investing space and made it completely amazing. COVID shuts down the world, right?
Yeah.
It certainly shut down our country. We had mass mandates and all kinds of stuff. Our country did stuff like they minimized public travel across the country, and then they eliminated public travel. Remember that?
Yes.
No planes, no trains, right? And then our country minimized public gathering, and then they completely eliminated public gathering. Remember that?
Yes.
We couldn't gather in public, could we? Let's think about the counties here for a second, folks. The counties have to hold auctions on the doorsteps so the public investors show up to sell their liens and deeds. Called public gathering, right? Can they do this during COVID?
No.
They're completely shut down, folks. Do you think it's a problem?
Yes.
Listen to this, okay? $15 billion each and every year, at least $15 billion goes unpaid in property taxes.
Wow.
And if the county's taking that money back, folks, what do they start doing? They cut programs first on year one, lay off employees, cut programs on year one. Year two, they raise our taxes. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys actually know some counties have actually gone bankrupt? You guys know that? Some counties have actually gone bankrupt, folks. So it's a huge problem. So Brian creates taxing code right at COVID, and he says, hey, we are about to collaborate the efforts of every single county, all 3,243 counties, and we're gonna stick inside one place, taxingcode.com.
Wow.
Let me say one more thing. COVID starts in March of 2020, right? Like 4.5 years ago now. Folks, in March of 2020, most of these counties were so completely archaic, let's say, they did not even have a website for the county. Not a website at all. Let alone the counties that have to hold like an online streaming Zoom call, right? With thousands of people all over the country, all over the world investing in property. Mexico says, hey, you guys have to build the websites, but we will stick inside one place. Now, you and I have access to all 3,243 counties. For every online auction, every live auction, and now something called over-the-counter or county held to invest with computer devices anywhere you want to be.
Wow.
Folks, that's
Take
something
advantage.
Yes, incredible,
Entire
man.
game, that's why I'm here, that's why I'm excited. I had
Me
to do
too.
it that olden days way in the past, folks. You guys get to start with more streamlined and easy, okay? Now, folks, we're gonna dive into taxingcode.com, the website. I'll show you guys around with it. We'll just analyze a couple of problems really quickly, okay? First, this is gonna be a landing page taxing code. Now, folks, up here in phase one is where all of your additional education tools and resources will be that you get for one full year. You're never going to use the investing system forever, okay? Folks, I'm going to the phase two here called online auctions and sales. Phase two, online auctions and sales. Now, folks, when you click on that, it populates every online auction and sale all over the country in a really big drop-down menu. There'll be all the states and all the counties below each state, okay? Now, folks, these are, this is not the live website. These are screenshots for a PowerPoint slide presentation. So when I click that button, folks, there was a big drop-down menu with all the states and all the counties below each state, okay? Now, folks, I'm gonna bring us into Arizona there. One of my favorite counties called Coconino County, Arizona. Just one county, folks, okay? Now, Arizona's a lien state, tax liens only. So when I click on Coconino County, it populates all the liens available just in that one county. Also in a really big drop-down menu. And again, folks, these are screenshots for the PowerPoint slide presentation. So in that drop-down menu there, folks, there was somewhere between 250 and 300 liens available in Coconino County just that day. Is that quite a few, folks?
Yeah.
That's actually a bunch of liens, okay? Let's say 250 liens times 3,243 counties. Folks, we are truly talking about hundreds of thousands of records all over the place. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
It's a big, big database. It's a major database put together in one place. It's a big database to be updating moment to moment. Things are changing rapidly, new stuff coming on, old stuff being sold out all the time. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
Big, big database, okay? Now, what I really want to draw attention to there is the black box that pops up there. That's going to be the filtering capability inside of taxing code, okay? Filtering capability. Let's say Carla. Let's say you want to invest $300 to $500. Let's say you want to do it every month, okay? Let's say Coconino County, a couple counties you like in New Jersey, okay? Carla, you plug information in there in the black box, it's going to filter everything down to the entire USA, down to just what Carla wants to look at. Sound pretty good, folks? You got to filter stuff down. Omar, let's say you want to invest $3,000 to $5,000. Let's say you want to do it every other month, okay? Let's say all of Florida, a couple times you like in Texas, okay? Omar, you plug this in the black box to filter everything down from the entire USA down to just what Omar wants to look at. Again, folks, pretty powerful, yes?
Yes.
You gotta filter stuff down, folks. You don't want to start trying to dig through truly hundreds of thousands of records, get to where you want to get to. You want to spend less time. Make sense, guys?
Makes sense.
Hey, guys, 3-day class, you guys how to use all that filtering capabilities. You can do it in tons of different ways. So you can do price point, that combination, square footage, location, time frequency, price frequency. Guys, any way you want to do that, there's lots of ways to filter all the data. We'll teach you guys all about that in that training class. You gotta filter stuff down, okay? Now, folks, we're gonna dive a little deeper here. We're gonna come on individual properties, we can analyze those deals really quickly. However, quick disclaimer for the company, okay? Now, the lawyers inside of taxing code, I need you folks to know that I'm not a CPA, okay? I'm not a lawyer. I'm not your professional investment advisor. I'm showing you folks opportunities in the marketplace here, how to invest with liens and deeds, and become massively successful with it if that's what you'd like to do. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
I can't make any earnings claims here today, okay? That is a buzzword. We hear all about earnings claims. Let me describe that in two categories, okay? Now, folks, I want you to know when I show you guys individual properties, I didn't jump on the live website like an hour ago, take screenshots, and build a slide presentation. Make sense, folks?
Yes.
So the property I'm showing you, they might be old news already. It could be off the marketplace, folks. Frankly, I don't know. That would be an earnings claim, okay? Now, folks, if that's much more basic, before you start looking at how to say it, okay? I would imagine right now, you guys realize that investment in liens and deeds is not going to be a, let's say, get a quick scenario. That makes sense, folks? You don't have a lottery ticket, right? It's gonna take time and effort and energy, guys. That makes sense? Somebody nod with me. Thank
Yes.
you, disclaimer done, guys. We're living, everybody, thank you. Okay. Right here, the taxes that are owed are just $159.37. That's your investment, your tax lien certificate, or potentially buy that property for you clear.
You see?
That property's worth over $80,000. I saw the property here, 18% return to Florida each and every year. Now tell me, folks, if anyone in the room invests $159.47,
tu manos.
that property right there
Igual
worth
manos
over
que
$80,000.
Tiene tu mano.
I would do the property every single day, folks. Nice little property, okay? Now, folks, at the beginning, I'm sure I said less than $100. I can show you tons of things less than $100. I can show you stuff less than $30, okay? So if you have to start
$30
small,
tax
let's
lien.
get started and start
You can
small.
start with $30.
I'm showing you guys $159.47.
$150 you can buy.
I would imagine every single person in this room would find a way to scrape together $159.47,
You can do it.
invest in property
Well,
worth
you just see.
$80,000. Folks, might think it's true.
Yes,
Most
true.
of the 6 hands that went up, folks.
True,
I
true.
said, I'll do that property
But
every
where?
single day, and I hope you guys would, okay?
No,
Folks,
awesome, where?
Let's talk about scalability
Don't
on
tell
this
me
slide.
you just-
That's the word necessarily is scalability. Now let's do this in two different ways. Let's say, for instance, you want to invest $1,600 with some liens, let's say pretty quickly in and around Avon Park, Florida there. Now folks, the one I showed you in the middle is $159.47. The one above is also $159.47, and so is the one below, interestingly enough. So if you wanted to invest $1,600 with some liens, let's say pretty quickly in and around Avon Park, Florida, in the marketplace there, you would click, 10 times, and invest in 10 properties with 10 liens for $1,600.
Wow.
Makes sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay, now you got 10 properties with 10 liens in and around Avon Park, Florida. Now folks, remember we said 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get the great rate of return. That's 18% of Florida every single time. Well, let's say you acquire one of those properties out of 10. Folks, let's do it this way theoretically, okay? Let's say the one in the middle is worth $80,000. The one above is worth $20,000. The one below is worth $22,000, okay? So let's say, folks, you acquire one of those properties. Let's say the smallest one for $20,000. You just made over $18,000 in profit. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna scale up with a smaller amount of money, okay? That's $1,000 investment, making $18,000 in profit. Great way to scale, okay? Now, folks, from a scalability standpoint, I want to tell you guys that everything that's built inside the taxandcode.com marketplace here is everything that every county has inside their website as well. So everything that has a lien or a deed attached to it is built inside the marketplace. So folks, what I'm saying is, when you want to go big, it's all out there. You can buy huge resorts, you can buy commercial projects, you can buy hotels if you want to. They're all built inside the marketplace. Now also, everything that's built inside the taxandcode.com marketplace is going to be in searchable price categories. And the price categories are as follows. It'll be below $1,000. Then it goes from $1,000 to $5,000, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, and then over $20,000. So folks, when you're ready to invest that big investing of money, let's say retirement plans, let's say $1 million, okay? If I'm investing $1 million in liens and deeds all over the country, I would probably choose in price categories that are maybe $20,000 and above. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
You don't want to try to invest $1 million at $159.47. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
That'd be a tough thing to do. Okay, so guys, completely scalable, okay? Folks, when you're ready to go big, it's what tax code is really well with larger investors. They will run as big and far and fast with you guys as you want to go. When you guys want to go big, they go big too. It's all built inside. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so here tonight, guys, I'm gonna show you smaller residential stuff. So they're worth like 80,000, 30,000, that kind of thing. But we want to go big, go big. Here tonight, I'm not putting big dollar signs on our eyes, okay? Fair enough, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Now, folks, next property here, tiny bit of money on this one. This one is to the investment. The back taxes that are owed are $293.58. That's your investment through the tax lien certificate, or potentially acquire the property free and clear. That property's worth over $37,000. It is a double wide trailer in Tallahassee, Florida. 18% return to Florida each and every year. Folks, here's what I love. That property's on a quarter-acre of ground. Now, folks, tell me, anyone in this room invests $293.58 for that property right there, worth over $37,000.
Yes.
I visit that property every single day as well. Love that little one in Tallahassee, Florida. Now, folks, let's say you actually acquired that property there, free and clear, for the less than $300 you invested in it. Now you own the property free and clear. Now, at that point, folks, what would you do with the property?
Sell it.
Sell it as is. Love it. Love it. That's great. Just call the agent, sell it right there. How about rent that thing out?
Or rent it, yeah.
Could you rent that?
Yeah,
If
maybe.
it's livable, I might rent that. Nice little rental in Tallahassee. How about live in it? Could you live in that thing?
No.
You could. It's your property. But I would. Okay, yeah. Don't go live in it. Okay.
Yeah.
But you could, right? It's your property. You guys do like the property, folks. They're all called exit strategies, right? It's the exit out of the property.
San Carlos
where you
to
make
go
money
there.
in real estate.
Go to Florida.
We'll teach you guys all the exit strategies in that 3-day class.
Rosemary.
So folks, let's do it this way, okay? Let's say you actually acquire the property right there for less than $300 you invested in the property. You own it free and clear, but let's say let's say the trailer right there, let's say the trailer is absolute garbage. It's a garbage trailer. I will tell you at that point to make one phone call locally, and you'll have the trailer yanked off the ground. And then a quarter-acre of ground in Tallahassee is worth real dollars. In fact, I'm gonna say at least 30,000 real dollars. You guys with us?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, the true value of real estate all the time is the piece of property that it comes with.
Yeah,
Okay?
yes.
Guys, the biggest secret of all time in real estate, the biggest secret of all time, you guys ready?
Yes.
They're not making any more land. And it's all over the place. So don't pass up little double wide trailers like that. People tell me, Mark, I don't want that piece of garbage trailer. And I say, no, you want the piece of garbage trailer. Because it's on a quarter-acre of prime ground in Tallahassee worth at least $30,000. Guys still with me?
Yes.
So don't pass up the small deals, guys. They can all be pretty amazing, okay? So folks, again, everything that's inside the taxandcode.com marketplace is everything that every single county has inside their websites as well. It's all built in, okay? Now folks, I'm gonna start showing you guys the true beauty of what tax codes to offer with their marketplace. There's stuff that makes this completely amazing. This is why I said we changed the game, okay? Folks, take a look at this. There's a button up here that says details. Okay, see that?
Yes.
Details. Now listen, when you click on that button called details, it opens all the details you need to look at to do all of that due diligence work we talked about earlier right inside the marketplace. So the whole olden day story about walking into the counties or calling around, driving around the counties again, folks, you never do any of that again because the details are built inside the marketplace. Click on the detail button, you got everything you need. You got description, location, disclaimer, delinquent year, auction year, parcel number, assessed value, market value, all the details will probably go directly inside the marketplace. That sound pretty good, folks?
Yes.
Good. That is really good. All the details are built inside. Now, folks, listen. As investors, it's going to cost you and I a real good money tonight. It's going to cost us each $39.97 per month. Okay, write that down if you need to. $39.97 per month. Well, the details built inside the marketplace there. Okay.
Yeah.
We could talk about time savings, right? We could certainly talk about gas savings. Folks, let's call this $40 in a month. Okay. You and I, we spend more than $40 in a month just driving around from county to county gathering details. Make sense, folks?
Yes.
$40 a month, okay? I think that's a small amount of money, okay? Now, folks, that's called the cost of doing business, okay? You and I will each spend $40 in a month to run our leading data investing businesses. When something's called the cost of doing business, that makes that a complete business write-off. You just write that off in your business tax. Make sense, guys?
Yeah, correct.
You go to your cell phone, exactly your business, write that off on your business tax. Make sense? Internet tenants, write that off on your business tax, okay? Guys, 3-day class next week. In that 3-day class, it's amazing what you guys are gonna learn that real estate investors get to use as business write-offs, okay? Folks, I'm gonna say it like this. At this point in my career, I haven't taken a vacation in well over 10 years. I take a whole lot of business trips. We are not cheating the system, guys. We're not cheating the system. We are real estate investors, okay? Real estate is anywhere you ever go. You will never drive anywhere, you'll never fly anywhere, you'll never sit on the beach anywhere where you're not looking at real estate. It's anywhere you ever go. Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
It can all be business expenses, guys. 3-day class is gonna be phenomenal in that regard, but you guys all the business expense write-offs, okay? It's gonna be incredible. Okay, now folks, the point was here, $40 per month. You guys got all that?
Yeah.
Okay, the $40 per month is the cost of your business write-off, write it off in your business tax. Okay, a couple of things about $40, guys. You can turn that system on and off whenever you want to. If you want to take a business trip, you just want to invest for the month, folks, turn it off for the month and save your $40. That's what I do, okay? The stipulation with the company says you have to have that system live at least 1 month out of the year. Just 1 month if you want to, you can turn it off for the whole rest of the year. Guys got all that?
Yes.
$40 a month, on and off, month to month, at least 1 month out of the year has to be live. It's the cost of doing business. Write that off with business taxes. Guys got all that?
Yes.
So folks, the details are built inside. Now that's a game changer right there that already changed my life. At this point in my life, folks, I haven't walked in the county office for details in well over 3 years.
Wow.
Folks, and that was a tough process, right? Now
Good.
all the details are built inside, okay? That's incredible in itself. Now folks, this gets completely crazy cool, okay? Please pay attention right now, folks. There's a button up there that says purchase from jurisdiction. Can I see that?
Yes.
Purchase from jurisdiction. Now listen, folks, when you click on that button inside of tax lien code, it then goes seamlessly and directly to that county's website where that property is, still inside of tax lien code. Now, folks, you then electronically sign the disclaimer for that county, electronically transfer your funds to that county, the $293.58, and then instantly the investment is in your portfolio.
Wow.
Wow, I was right. Nice
That's
job.
amazing, yes.
Yeah, guys, you know you didn't walk in the county office for details, right?
Right.
Imagine yourself sitting in your bed, let's say at 10 a.m., with your laptop on your lap, you clicked a few buttons, you just bought a lien on a property in Tallahassee, Florida for less than $300. Sitting in your bed at 10 a.m. That's what your folks?
Yeah.
So folks, you didn't walk into the county office and you didn't attend an auction.
Right.
Guys, look at this?
Yeah.
You didn't have to attend the auction, folks, okay? This is why I say we changed the game. It is so amazing what's going on, folks. You never have to attend an auction. Anyone that's ever been to an auction for liens or deeds or life and something?
Yes.
Because auctions are not a
Terrible.
good place.
Oh,
I'm
terrible.
gonna say they're terrible places, folks. Ever since I've been doing this, the banks will send what I call straw buyers to an auction to artificially bid a price. They're not gonna buy anything, they bid the price up and the sucker buys it later on for way too much money.
Yes.
Straw buyers of an auction.
Yes.
So folks, now you never have to go to the auction again if you don't want to.
Wow.
You can purchase from the jurisdiction all over the country directly.
That's nice.
You guys looking at this?
Yes.
This is crazy, completely cool, okay?
Thank you.
Now, folks, generally we're trucks investment, we're investment linked to these all over the country. We have county sales and auctions both live and online now. And you guys have access to all those things. We're gonna have to get 3-day class. Now, folks, there are counties still doing just live auctions on their doorsteps, okay, some counties. There are counties just doing online auctions, just online bidding, okay? Now there's counties that are doing live and online at the same time. They'll have a live auction on the doorsteps, and the guy off to the side of the computer device with a bunch of screens dealing with all the online bidding. Makes sense, folks?
Yes.
Live and online, same time. You guys have access to all those things, okay? Folks, it's not much of what I do. I do something called county held and over the counter. Now, folks, listen. After the 3-day class, you guys have access to 100% what's built inside the taxandcode.com marketplace, okay? Folks, one of the things that's in there is an electronic calendar for the entire year. You're gonna have a calendar for the entire year that tells you when every single county, all 3,243 counties, are gonna have their next upcoming live auction on the calendar. Make sense, guys? So you know the dates of every single auction. Now, folks, listen. Let's say you don't wanna be at the auction live, you don't wanna be there, but you know when the date is, okay?
Yeah.
Folks, the morning of the auction, when the auctioneer steps up to the plate, and he says, folks, I have 187 properties to auction off here today. Might there be a reason that he can't auction off 187 properties in about 4 hours' time?
Yes.
Let me tell you folks, there's no way you can do that. Large amount of properties, and it happens all the time now, okay? Take that story, let's put a pin in that back here for a second. You guys know that generally in our country, things are getting tougher, right?
Yes.
People are having a tougher time paying their bills, is that true, guys?
Yes.
As people are having a tougher time paying their bills, you can imagine there's more liens and deeds being generated all the time.
Right.
Makes sense, guys?
Yes.
So the auctions are packed places now. So the morning of the auction, when he says, folks, 187 properties, he starts at the top of that list and works his way down. When the time of the auction is over, about 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours, they stop the auction and they are done. They finish the last property on the bid there, folks, and then everything after that on the list, they never get to. So everything after that on the list is then called county held, and it's then sold over the counter the next day or the day following that. Okay, this will click for you in a minute, I hope. You knew the date was, you didn't want to be there.
Right.
He starts at the top of the list, works his way down, they stop the auction, they're done. Everything after the list, they never get to.
Right.
So everything after the list is then called county held, and it's then sold over the counter the next day or the day following. Folks, that means when you're buying an over-the-counter item, you're no longer attending an auction. That makes sense, folks?
Yes.
And if you're no longer attending an auction, they can never bid the percentage down. So you get the maximum rate of return every single time over the counter.
Good.
Never bid down.
Good.
Let's say 18% of Florida. You guys with me?
Yes.
Guys, imagine, there is a huge difference investing in 18% or 0.25%.
Yes.
And it can never bid it down. You guys with me?
Yes.
Maximum rate of return every single time. That's
Yes.
incredible, right?
Yeah, incredible.
Guys, that's lean. Hey, listen to this.
Cool.
Deeds, okay? When you're buying an over-the-counter deed, folks, you're no longer at the auction for the deed either. That make sense?
Yes.
That means they can never bid up the price on the deed.
Right.
So you buy the deed at base value.
Right.
Okay? This is why I say we changed the game, folks. It's incredibly cool what's going on now. You can now purchase over-the-counter county items all over the country. Now, folks, there's an entire section for that, right? Entire section for that, right to the website here called County L. You guys see that? And again, click on that, populates every state, every county, big drop-down menu. I'll bring us back into Arizona, into Maricopa County this time.
Wow.
Anybody familiar with Phoenix area, Scottsdale? That is Maricopa County. Now, great. Folks, that's an electronic map of Maricopa County, okay? Electronic map, that's why I love it. I like the map, drop-down menu. All the options. Now, when I took the screenshot that day for that slide, there was exactly 293 properties available for sale just over the counter in Maricopa County that day. But if you notice, there are 293 little red dots on that map. Now that's an electronic map, that's why I love it. I expanded that electronically just as big as I can make it. I want to see the exact location of each and every little red dot. And then you click on the little red dot. Hopefully draw a picture of the property and all the details on the property. And then remember we said purchase from jurisdiction. Set this claim electronically, transfer your funds electronically, and then any one of those transferred properties is in your portfolio right then and there. You the wow.
Wow.
You guys got it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And again, folks, you didn't go to the county office for details, right?
Right.
You didn't attend an auction, right, folks?
No,
Right.
offering a
It's
bid.
incredible what's going on, guys. This is how we do over the counter, county held all the time. There are 290 properties that day in Maricopa County. I'll say this, folks. I don't care how much money you have. If you buy your property you want to that day, you want to buy more. Makes sense, guys?
Yes.
This is all over the country. This is how we change games. Folks, 99% of what we do now is over-the-counter county held items, buying directly that way. I rarely, if ever, attend an auction again. I want all the branded students best over the counter to begin with. If you want to attend live auctions, we teach all this well, folks, but frankly, in my mind, there's no reason to go to an auction again if you don't want to. You can buy the day after the auction. Guys with me still?
Yes.
It's incredible what's going on, folks. Okay, so, tax deeds. Over the last, let's say, hour, I talked a lot about tax liens, okay? You'll be talking about lien investing and deed investing in that 3-day class. They will spend an entire damn liens, an entire damn deeds, and kind of a combination and a wrap up on day 3, okay? Now folks, here today, I don't have time to talk about deeds at all. We'll save all that for the 3-day class. I'll briefly describe the deeds here in a second though, but let's start with tax liens, okay? You guys know this already, so just nod when I say this. Now folks, when you invest in a tax lien, you're investing for either that great percentage rate of return, let's say 18% in Florida, or potentially acquiring the property free and clear. Makes sense, guys?
Yes.
That's lien investing. Thanks for nodding.
Yes.
Appreciate that. In that 3-day class, we're going to call that redeem and repeat. Churning that money, compounding that interest. Great way to invest with liens, okay? Now folks, deed investing. When you invest in a tax deed, you're investing directly for ownership into that property. When you buy the tax deed, you own the property free and clear. Makes sense, guys?
Wow.
Yes.
And I think investors are coming from both lien investing and deed investing. Now folks, here's what I do. Here's what I think you guys should do. I take all my deed money. It's generally bigger chunks of money. I take all that deed money, pay all my bills with that, take any more excess from that, and I just buy some more lien structure again. Make sense, folks?
Yes.
I want to say have both, do both all the time, okay? Now, you guys are excited really a lot on the inside, is that true?
True.
Good, because if you're not excited on the inside, folks, go out and do it the old Biz way, okay? It's still there for you guys, okay? But folks, there's a couple things you gotta get really good at to be really good lien to deed investors, okay? Just a couple things we'll teach you guys about in that 3-day class. Now folks, I'm gonna call this step 1, okay? Step 1. Folks, you have to learn how to analyze the properties and do it fairly quickly. Make sense, guys? You
Yeah.
have to learn how to analyze the properties. You have to know exactly what it is you're buying. And folks, here's the reason why. Every kind of percent thing on their website that's going to be duplicated on taxcode.com marketplace here, they put them out there, folks, just because there's back taxes owed on it. Makes sense?
Right.
Yeah.
So everything will lien or deed just means there's back taxes owed on it. So folks, you can buy all kinds of things you would never want to buy, never want to own, okay? You can buy landlocked property that you have no public access to. You could buy biohazard ground. You could buy swamp campground, you can find meth labs, they're all there, okay? And you don't want any of the bad stuff, makes sense, guys?
Right.
Bad stuff is out there, okay? Now, guys, I'm gonna talk about do-it-yourselfers for a second. There are a lot of do-it-yourself people trying to do liens and deeds, okay? They will jump out there on county websites one at a time, and folks, if you wanted to, you could be a do-it-yourself person. Leave here tonight, go home, jump on county websites one at a time. Eventually, you're gonna buy something directly from some of those counties, some of them, not all of them, but one at a time, folks. That's what how you analyze the property. Analyze that property, folks. They have to go to the county office directly to gather the details. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
Because you guys know the details built inside the marketplace there, we're gonna teach you guys in that 3-day class how to analyze properties very quickly. You will know within minutes whether or not you went in a deal or not in a deal. Make sense, guys?
Right.
Analyze the properties very quickly. I'm gonna say do not be a do-it-yourselfer, okay? That's step one, folks. And I think step two, even more importantly, we talked about redemption periods earlier. Guys remember that?
Yes.
Redemption periods, now listen, they can go anywhere between 6 months, like Texas, all the way out to 6 years. A 6-year-long redemption period, okay? So folks, do-it-yourselfers jump online, they see a brand new lien deed pop up and they buy it because it's brand new. It must be awesome. They could buy a lien or a deed that has a 6-year-long redemption period. So they
Vámonos por ahí, está pegadito. Látima para
¿Qué?
escribió todo. La libreta.